We find ourselves in the week of the portion of Parshas Tavo. It's one of two parshiot that seemingly tells us of all the curses that will come upon the Jewish people if they don't behave as they should. It's related in Hayom Yom that the Alter Rebbe, Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liady, was accustomed to always be the Baal Koreh, the reader of the Torah in synagogue. One year he happened to be out of town, and therefore someone else had to be the Baal Koreh to do the reading. The Rebbe's son, the Mittler Rebbe, happened to be in the synagogue, and he listened as the Torah was being read. And when he heard of all the curses, it affected him to such an extent that he got sick. So much so that they were worried he wouldn't even be able to fast in Yom Kippur because of the sickness. They asked him, "What, you've never heard this before? Come on, of course you have. You're the son of a rabbi." He says, "Yeah, but when father reads, you don't hear any curses." It's a well-known story that there was a certain king who had an advisor, a rabbi who was extremely wise, and it was known to say that everything is for the good. This is for the good. Even that is for the good. It once happened that they were out hunting, all the king with his retinue and this rabbi, when there was a horrible accident and the king was shot in the leg. As you could imagine, the rabbi says, this too is for the good. The king was so frustrated. He says, "How dare you say that this is for the good? How is this good? You like it when the king gets shot?" He got so annoyed that he ordered the soldiers to dig a pit and to put the rabbi in the pit, and he says, "You'll stay here over your night. If you're still alive tomorrow, we'll see if you still say it's for the good." Meanwhile, the king left with the soldiers to head back to the kingdom, and they were happened upon by a bunch of cannibals. They were all taken to the village of the cannibals. There they set up a giant fire with a pot, and they started putting the soldiers in the pot for the giant feast that was to be had. When they came to the king, they saw that he had a bullet wound in his leg, and they were fearful that it may be infected. Therefore, they chose to let him go. They weren't going to risk it. The king wandered through the forest through the night. Eventually came to the rabbi. He told the rabbi what had happened to them. And the rabbi said, "You see, it indeed was for the good. One, your bullet wound actually saved your life. And two, if it wasn't for me being in this pit, had I been with you, and they saw that there was no defect in me, I would have been eaten alive. So it was for the good that you were shot. It was for the good that I was thrown in this pit." We should remember that although it may be difficult to see how the things that are happening around us can be good, in the highest of high, from God in His essence, only good comes down. This too is for the